LGBTQ folks, they don't want to talk about this. This transgender woman who impregnated 2 inmates did not want to talk about it, right? So I tried to get somebody on from this community, and that's what the holdup was for me starting today. I wanted somebody from the transgender community to defend this action of this supposed to be transgender woman, but it's really a man, has all the male body parts, was put in a female correctional facility, right? This man who identifies, I got air quotes up, this man who identifies as a woman, put in this female population. Now, this is why I say I'm calling BS on stuff. In this particular case, let's bring dude up. All right, here's dude. Right, here's homie right here. All right, and you can see here that this is how he looks normally. This is his man outfit. Over here, a very bad female impersonation. But I guess the ladies in jail, I guess that you know, that's just because he says he identifies as a woman. Y'all believe this? Y'all let this guy in the female prison. Y'all let this guy in. And the LGBTQ folks, I tried to get somebody on. None of them trying to defend homie. Right? None of them trying to defend him. And why not? Why don't they want to defend this action? Because any other thing, they out here loud and proud. They out here loud and proud, but they don't want to talk about this. I mean, this is right after Pride Month, right? They don't want to talk about this. Let me show you. Let me get another picture up for folks watching us on YouTube, DJ Diamond K. Those watching us on Facebook, On Fire Television, or the Diamond K Show, and those watching us on Twitter at the Diamond K Show, or at onfire-tv.com. Here's what, like, he doesn't. I mean, I guess he's supposed to be. This is what's so interesting about this. I guess he's supposed to be a dom, but he's a dude, 27 years old. Name is Demetrius. Like, now he likes to go by Demi. Here's my thing. I think that you've lost the right for us to call you a woman, call you by your girl name, when you acting like a dude, right? When you're acting like a dude. Now I know that the LGBTQ folks, they're gonna be mad, right? They're gonna be mad. I see somebody on Instagram saying that what I'm saying seems ignorant and disrespectful. This guy was put in a female prison because his attorney said it was unsafe for him at a male facility. But he goes in the female facility and does what most males would do in that situation. And here's the thing. He is a male. That's why he did it. He did it because he is a male. He didn't do anything that he wasn't supposed to do, considering who he was. I think that this pokes a hole in the whole identified as argument. Pokes a hole in it. Boom. Boom. Pokes a hole like this. This is how he was. Poking a hole. It pokes a hole in the argument. Now, for a long time, I respect you. You want to be called this. You want to be called that. But when it comes to the bathroom, and when it comes to jail, and when it comes to sports, we have to reevaluate this, because it's deeper than just wanting to be called, a certain pronoun, or putting on, different clothes and the such. And I'm not going to sit up here and let folks who are supporters or in the LGBTQ, community act like I did something wrong when this guy who one of y'all folks who claims claims that he identifies as a woman goes in jail and acts like a man. Y'all not going to switch it on me and act like I did something wrong. And this is not transphobic. We gave you what you want. You put him in a male. We put this male who identifies as a female in a female jail, and he went in there and acted like a man. Yep, that's what happened. Demi minor, Demetrius, transferred now to the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility, a prison for young adult offenders. This actually happened, right? And the LGBT, y'all gonna try to twist it. Y'all got to take this L. Y'all got to take this L. He's in the vulnerable unit at the facility, and she, air quotes, is currently the only woman prisoner in the site. But let's understand, has male body parts and still has sex with women, right? It's interesting. It's interesting, right? Now, she is a felon serving a 30-year sentence for manslaughter, eligible for parole in 2037. And, if he identifies as a woman, then sending him to the male prison is like, a reward, right? It's like a reward. Of course, her, air quotes, or her attorney did not want to talk about this. Can't be reached for comment. Have nothing to say. A July 5th post on the website. Oh, yeah. Homie got a website. She got a website. Claims that the correctional officers forcibly removed her from and beat her during the transfer to the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility. No evidence of that. That's just what it says. Let's understand this, because the LGBTQ folks, y'all want to, anytime we disagree, y'all want to say it's phobic, right? Here's what you have to defend, though, and this is why I can't not get anyone from that community to defend this guy. Here's what you have to address. Here's what you have to account for: the mother and the father of the children that are going to be born. One child's going to be born later in the fall. Mother and father, or mother and mother, you want to be politically correct, both in jail for murder. They ain't coming home no time soon. No time soon. Right? Active investigation going on. Of course, New Jersey's Department of Corrections, they don't want to talk about it. And we tried to get comments from them. They say we don't comment on any active investigations. What you investigating? We can clearly see what happened here. The department has a zero tolerance for abuse and the safety and security of incarcerated population and staff are, it's of a critical importance, they said, right? So they gave us the whole thing. But here, and someone, Cool Rod said this: if he is busting nuts in women, don't call him a her. I agree with that. Yeah, and folks don't like that, right? The LGBTQ folks, there are folks who are legit gay people. This one is, definitely, I don't know what he is. He might be gay after his time in the male jail. he might actually become gay. But so the news travels slow, though. News travels slow with regards to the Department of Corrections. They didn't want this information getting out quick. So the transfer comes nearly 3 months after the New Jersey Advanced Media reported that minor impregnated 2 women during consensual sexual relationships. So he didn't rape them. He didn't rape them. But it was consensual. Also on Instagram, he's saying he lost his female pronouns upon conception. Oh, I love that. I love that. Let's take another look. Here's a transformation. Here's the guy, gal, whatever. And then here is a picture of him with some kind of ponytail on top and his beard shaved and some makeup. But pretty much you can see the hair looks the same. Everything pretty much looks the same. Maybe he has on some chapstick. I don't know. The lips look chapped on the first picture. All right. Of course, criticism. How did the state correctional officials let this happen? Well, I mean, I understand why, I guess the law made it so he was there. She was there. Whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But this one is going to be a father in jail. Oh, we're going to get to why he's in jail in a minute. But it definitely has to cast some spotlight on New Jersey's and America's transgender prison policy. They made this policy the way it is because the LGBTQ folks, felt like they needed some equality here. You felt like things were not the way they should be. Okay. All right, fine. So yeah, there were a lot of people that didn't agree with it. But some people gave you the benefit of the doubt. Gave you the benefit of the doubt. And this happened. All right. Okay. Wait. Somebody said that your political party did this, WK. Okay. Yeah. I don't agree with everything that any political party does. But unfortunately, you're right about that. The Democratic Party definitely did this. Oh, man. Right. But here's the difference between me and a lot of folks. When we do something that's wrong or something that doesn't work out, I'll admit it. Republicans, on the other hand, do not say it. All right. Y'all won't admit when y'all do anything wrong. Yeah. Democrats got this one wrong. But unlike Republicans who are going to go along with anything Republicans do, no matter what, I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna say this is wrong. This is an example when it did not work. We have to reevaluate this transgender prison policy. Have to revisit this. This is a guy who says he identifies as a woman, has all his body parts, gets put in jail for murdering his father, and now gets to become a father himself 2 times over while in a female prison. Got to cast some spotlight on New Jersey's transgender prisoner policy. So anyway, established following a settlement agreement with the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU of New Jersey, in June of 2021. We're definitely going to get somebody from the ACLU on here. Y'all can only run and hide but for so long. The policy stipulated that the Department of Corrections house transgender prisoners according to their gender identity. This policy stipulates that. Okay, so if that's the case, and transgender prisoners get to decide where they go for prison, isn't that nice? It doesn't get tougher than that. You know how many guys would have loved to have been put in a female prison? Plenty. So the settlement that was reached with the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU of New Jersey, in 2022 stipulated that the transgender prisoners get to, go wherever they identify. The settlement agreement mandated that the policy remains in place for at least a year. Guess what? That year ended last month. All right, so I don't know what's going to happen, man. I don't know. Now, I could see that, of course, that community is not monolithic. They're not one unit operating the same. So they're gonna play that card, and that's fine, and that's true. But of course, I mean, all of y'all are not killing your father either. Foster father. Let me say that. His foster father. So they're gonna make this case. It's been a rough childhood. But I don't know how you say your name. What is that? Bama Boss Jams. I am not adopting this loser felon's kids. Okay, get out of here with that. And no, I don't have any biological children. All right, and I'm not adopting these. Instagram, y'all talking crazy. All right. So the agreement time over last month. The Department of Corrections continues to operate under the policy, though. That policy that was agreed upon with the ACLU, but added that the department is currently reviewing the policy for housing transgender incarcerated persons with the intention of implementing minor modifications. I don't know if it's going to be minor or not. But to me, it's real simple. If you identify however you want, but if you're going to be incarcerated, you're going to lose some things. Heterosexual folks don't get a lot of choice when they get convicted of stuff, right? And if you have the body parts that you were born with, I mean, how can we not put that person there where they're supposed to go based on birth? How are we going to do that? These examples are going to continue to come up. You know why? I'll tell you why. It's very simple, really. Because this guy here is still a guy. That's why he was aroused by women. That's why he was having sex with multiple women in the jail, because he's still a guy. The body it's funny like that. It's funny like that. So the decisions related to an incarcerated person's housing, like minors, are made within the parameters of the settlement agreement, which requires consideration of gender identity and the health and safety of the individual. All right? It's tricky. I get it, because there's some folks who wouldn't have done this. There are some folks who would not have violated their gender identity. Oh, yes, he violated it. And just because everybody does not do it does not mean that we're not going to revisit, question, look at it sideways when some folks do stuff and say stuff. So yes, let's look at a famous guy, right? A girl, right? Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn, right? Has children, lived his life as a man for many years, more years. He's been a man, lived his life as a man more years than he's lived his life as a woman, right? So if he goes to jail right now, right? If they put him in jail for that traffic violation, that mix up, where would they put him? They would say, you put him in a Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever. They would say, if you put her in a male prison, This athlete, once one of the most famous athletes in the world, would be in danger in a male prison. Got to put her in a female prison where he's safe. He would have more children as well. And I guess they could be on Keeping Up with the Kardashians too. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But because this is a transgender person, further, just adding insult to injury. Oh, the LGBT, y'all gotta take this L. Y'all have got to take this L. You've got to understand that this is only going to make folks question gender identity even more. Oh, he set y'all back years. He set y'all back years. These decisions are related to incarcerated persons' housing, like minor, are all made with the parameters of the settlement agreement, which requires consideration. They put this under consideration. They thought about this. Should we put him in a male prison? Should we put him in a female prison? Thought about it. The agreement at the time was hailed as necessary reform. Oh, yes. There were all kinds of celebrations about this. And on paper, if the whole theory was true, it would have been a great thing. But because this is a theory, which means that it can be proven or disproven, it's not a fact. It's not across the board. Some of the people that identify as something else live their lives as how they identify, and even under the temptation, stay the course. This one did not. And that is a big question mark on the whole thing. On the whole thing. So advocates hailed the settlement agreement as necessary reform that has moved New Jersey to the forefront of trans rights, along with states like California and Massachusetts that have implemented policies on how transgender prisoners should be housed and medically treated. Oh, yeah, they was celebrating. They was acting like everybody else was in the Stone Age. Everybody else was barbarians. When it turns out that the barbarian murderer identified as a woman, now in a male prison where he should be. The majority of inmates in this country are housed in prisons according to their gender assigned at birth. That is the way it should be. That is the way it should be. Now, you definitely have folks, allies of that community, folks that put the pronouns behind their names. And there were a lot of people say, "Oh, I put the pronoun behind my name because I want to show that I'm a supporter." And I don't know, This whole thing has come under question. Like, y'all gonna need some references now, because every time we talk about this, I'm gonna have to point to this case. So understand this. The majority, I don't want people to get scared. The majority of the transgender inmates in America are housed in prisons according to their gender assigned at birth. That is the way it should be. Now you're gonna say, who are you to tell us what should be? This is the way it should be. Come on, let's come on, right? It should be clear and obvious. So you had a couple of states that tried to go over the deep end, try to take it too far. And look what happened. This is not the only time this would happen. We've got to re-examine this. We've got to re-examine who we allow in what bathroom. Got to re-examine that. You can say you identify, and that's cool, right? You can say you identify. You could be a vegetarian. You can say I'm a vegetarian, right? And then you get on somewhere. Let's say you're somewhere where there is no more plants, no fruit, no nothing, only meat. I'm a vegetarian. After a while, you're going to eat that meat. Oh, yeah, it's true. It's damn true. Shout out to Kurt Angle. So, the majority of the inmates are put where they need to be put based on who they were at birth. And like I said, that's how it should be. That's how it really should be. So this trans woman, I guess he didn't transform all the way. Sent to a all-male prison. Now, they looked out for him a little bit because the prison has only male youths. All right, these ain't the hardcore folks. They're youths. Now, before y'all go feeling sorry for Demetrius or Demi, whatever you want to call him, her, this person is behind bars for stabbing the foster father to death. Was transferred from Edna Correctional Facility to the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility last month. Minor who has a blog. Let's bring Minor back on the screen. Minor who has a blog, which is called Justice for Demi, wanted to share the psychological damage experienced, claiming she was mocked and strip searched by prison guards and spat at by fellow inmates. Oh, what? That's a lot of people's jail experience. Anyway, she also alleges, see how even in this situation, this individual is trying to act like the victim. Even in this situation, even after you've been convicted of murdering, stabbing, do you know how personal a crime stabbing someone to death is? That's personal. Stabbing to death the foster father. You're in jail for that. You impregnate consensually. It wasn't like he was raped. They were like, man, and he had a shank and forced him to get erect and then inserted him and said, no, this was consensual. He wanted to do it. So it was he identified as a male that day, right? He identified as a male that day. I'm a male today. You let me out of jail, I'm going to be a female. Oh, but I tell you this, in the male jail, he went back to being a female, I'm sure. Maybe it might be what he wants. It might be really, really wanted. So anyway, takes to his blog, her blog, Justice for Demi. I'm going to call him Demetrius. Shared the psychological damage. Not talking about the damage that he inflicted, born a he. Claims, alleges, accuses the officers of beating him, her, during the prison transfer. And misgendered multiple times. What are you talking about, misgendered? You told everybody that you were really a woman, went to jail, impregnated, and he didn't have nobody else to blame it on, right? He's the only male there. Unbelievable. Anyway, Minor added that she was placed on suicide watch after trying to hang herself during the transfer. Oh, yes. Trying to play every card that there is. Trying to play on the sympathies of everybody. I was going to commit suicide. I was beaten. I was misgendered, which means, I guess he would say I'm misgendering, calling him something other than what he identified as. The old expression, actions speak louder than words. Now, this one here claims that they identified as a man. but your actions identify it as a woman. Sorry. This one here claims to identify as a woman, but your actions showed that you really were a woman. And yes, dude has a podcast. Dude has a blog, still acting as the victim. And I could not get anybody from the LGBTQ community to come on here and defend his actions. On suicide watch. Just another ploy. One of my best friends in the world committed suicide. For real. Not for pretend. Not for sympathy, acting like it. A cry for help. Like, he really committed suicide, right? So when I see somebody like this imposter, throwing that word around, it is more maddening than I already was in the beginning. The facility houses up to 800 inmates. Just began welcoming transgender women 2021 after this ACLU settlement. In the springtime, it was revealed that minor had engaged in a consensual sexual relationship. It wasn't even a one-time thing. With at least 2 other inmates there last year. Oh, and it's a coming. It's a coming. The baby, that is. The state's correctional department said it would review this policy. So I don't even know what that means. They're going to review it. They can look it over. Minor claims to be an activist advocating for prisoner rights, detailing her experiences online. So you may ask, how is this person having a blog and a show, a podcast, or talking? It can happen. A lot of crazy stuff happens, online from behind the walls. The most recent blog post, hilarious, being forced to live in a male prison. Right? Being forced to live in a male prison. She begs, of course, to be returned to Edna, which is, where the ladies go. Being forced to live. And so I'm sure that there's some LGBTQ folks that sympathize. Oh, this is terrible. How could you do this to him? No, he did it. He did it when he bent the girl over, right? I don't deserve to be treated like this, he says. In this blog post that's titled, Being Forced to Live in a Male Prison, bring him back on the screen. As a woman who is transgender, I truly fear what lies ahead of me. It's clear that the staff have looked for some kind of security reason to kick me out. And the only out of the only female correctional facility, they have thrown me in to the wolves and expect for me to just give up. I guess he meant give up, right? I don't deserve to be treated like this, he says in the post. Well, how is it that you deserve to be treated, sir? They put you in the female jail. And you were, understandably so, because you're a guy, knocking them hoes down, right? I get it. If I was in your position, I would have done the same thing. But here's the thing. You've been walking around getting the cover from the folks in the LGBTQ world, some folks who really are what they say. You just ain't. And the fact that you are not and have been living a lie, perpetrating a fraud, only proves that there are more people just like you. So yes, there are some who are legit, right? I'm just saying that these numbers are inflated. These numbers are way inflated. There are a lot more people walking around like this one than not. 27 years old. Transferred from a woman's only prison, and now, because he impregnated multiple women, and now trying to act like he is the victim. He is the victim. Interesting. California, Massachusetts, New Jersey. They all doing this same dance. They all doing the same dance. We're going to continue to follow this story. Very interesting. Very interesting. I really want to have a transgender or LGBT folk come on here and defend this. We have reached out to the ACLU, and they have not turned us down yet. So, I'm going to keep y'all posted on that. I do believe that we're going to get somebody on here from the ACLU to talk about, to defend, to, I guess they're going to try to defend. I guess they're going to try to defend it the best that they can. But they're going to probably say, oh, no, that was one person. And even if that's one person, right, they're more like him. Right? Does that mean he may not be a strong guy? He may not be somebody who is comfortable in their own skin, but that don't make you a woman. Right? Just because you can't win a fight, learn how to fight. Just because you don't feel comfortable, you fear something, get comfortable. Work it out. But this society that just says, oh, he feels funny, so that means he's something other than what he is. Some people are actually something else, right? Something other than what they were born as, right? But some of these people just lying. And this dude, I put in that category of liars. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfire-tv.com. LGBTQ folks, y'all gotta take this L. Y'all can't say this ain't everybody because, y'all gotta take this L. He's one of yours. He identifies as something other than what he was at birth, right? Y'all always make the claim there. Y'all pull everybody under the big umbrella. So when they do something wrong, you gotta claim it. Well, it doesn't matter if you claim it or not, because it is what it is. If he was out and it was Pride Day, he would be there. Bells on, whistles on, singing the YMCA song. He would be doing it. So now that y'all don't like the narrative, now that y'all don't like what happened, y'all can't cut the corner. Y'all can't say, oh, well, no, everybody ain't like that. Like, no, we need to check all of y'all resumes, right? All the ones that this is the test. All the ones that say that they identify as a woman, we need to test them out. Put some big asses and some big titties in their face. Let's test them out. Y'all got to take this out. This is an embarrassment. This is a travesty. This is a mockery. This is shameful. This is painful. This is laughable. Oh yeah, this is laughable. I tell you what's not laughable though. Aside from this transgender woman impregnating multiple inmates in prison, right? Aside from that, right? Aside from that, okay. One more thing. Okay, she is serving, and I can say she because he says he identifies as a woman. So they say, okay, you're a woman. Put him in a jail. He acts like a male. Put him in a male jail. Now he wants to be a woman again. So I got to say she because he don't know. He don't know what he is, right? Anyway, don't go feeling sorry for this dude. Serving a 30-year sentence for manslaughter. Okay? Serving that sentence. You have got to, we got to look at that. But here's another, I don't know, a case, another situation, another thing that just has me, I don't know, concerned. There's a transgender swimmer, Leah Thomas. Look it up. Leah Thomas, Lia Thomas, nominated for the NCAA 2022 Woman of the Year. Clearly, this is a guy, right? But he identifies as same scenario. You put Leah Thomas in a female prison, and he will come out with some babies the same way. Right? We're going to see this. We're going to keep seeing this as long as folks, pacify every little whim. There is legit some gay folks out there who get treated real shady. I can accept that. That's true. Right? But everybody that's crying ain't really hurt. So this transgender swimmer, Leah Thomas, nominated for NCAA 2022 Woman of the Year. Leah Thomas. I want y'all to look that up. Leah Thomas. Woman of the Year, but was born a man. Born a man. It is maddening. Like, so will we let him, her, Leah Thomas box a woman? LGBTQ folks, would y'all support that? Would y'all stand by and let that happen? University of Pennsylvania, all right? University of Pennsylvania student, in March, Thomas became the first transgender NCAA champion in Division I history. You don't say. So, it's not just this one in jail getting ladies pregnant. It's not just that one. You got others. We have other examples. Has the world gone mad? Am I crazy? This is not normal. I really need somebody, from the LGBTQ community to run some of this stuff past. I have questions. So if you or somebody is in that community and will come on the show and talk about this with me, please, djdiamondk@gmail.com. I really want to talk to someone within that community and really see if y'all are going to defend this behavior. Now, I vote Democrat for the most part, right? Yeah, I vote Democrat. I have friends who are Republicans. I have friends who are independents. I got friends who are Democrats, obviously. But that doesn't mean that I agree with every policy. That doesn't mean that I agree with everything, because I don't. Here's one of those things, okay? Now, I believe that there should be some transgender rights. I believe that there are really folks who are gay, right? But when we have folks that flip back and forth, those women that flip back and forth, they have a bad breakup, and then they're gay. And then, something they're gay for a while, then they realize, oh, wait, these girls cheat too. They turn back and now they heterosexual, that kind of stuff, right? That happens. Then that doesn't mean that every gay person or whatever, every gay person is not really gay. And you can call somebody whatever you want to call them. But if they commit a crime or they got to use the bathroom, as you were, okay, as you were born, that is. Yeah, I mean, unless you can tell me why it should be otherwise. And before this scenario, not even a scenario, before this fact happened, folks would say, I wouldn't really have anything to point to. I wouldn't even have anything to point to. But now I have something to point to. Now we have an example of a transgender person manipulating, lying, working the system, twerking the system. We got that example. Y'all can't get it, away. Here it is. Just tuning in, it's your man Demi K in here, the Demi K Show, onfire-tv.com. I know my LGBTQ family is going to be mad, but look, you got to take this medicine. You got to take this L. One of y'all folks claims to be a woman, so they put him in a woman's jail, and he's up in there banging other inmates, getting them pregnant, and crying, whining because now he's in the male jail. I gotta talk to somebody. Those LGBT folks, where you at? Where T? What's the other stuff they be saying? They say T, right? Yeah, I mean, we need to talk. Oh, maybe we can call Gary with the T. Yeah. I do know a couple folks on that show. Maybe we call him, right? He ain't gonna be serious though. We need somebody to have a serious conversation about this. Oh, because y'all talk about rights and this and that. Is it time to roll back some of these LGBTQ rights? It might be that time. This is an example. This is an example of something that, it's like if your kids in the house, they do something wrong. You say, don't mess with this. And then you leave and they keep messing with something, right? Eventually you got to I don't know. We got to rethink this. We got to rethink some of these LGBTQ rights. For the most part, this country has it correct. Wherein though transgender folks go to the prison based on their birth identity. We got a couple places that want to experiment, that wanted to take this community at their word, and they've been burned. And they've been burned. We've been burned. Well, no, I ain't been burned, but you know what I mean. Some people, I'm like, we really believe in what you're saying, but what you're doing is not backing up what you've been saying. Oh, yeah. When this story, I was so excited to talk about this when this came down the pipes. Now, back to this Leah person, right? No. Okay. Leah Thomas has dominated women's college swimming this season. Do we know why? Well, there are a couple of reasons. But I'll call her she until she gets somebody pregnant. But the swimmer, Leah Thomas, has also become a lightning rod for controversy. Many, including some teammates, say she should not be able to compete against other women. In an exclusive interview with Sports Illustrated, Thomas told the interviewer, Robert Sanchez, why she has to. Now, born a male, swimming. Now, we know that men and women are, we're made different. Generally speaking, men were stronger, more muscle mass. Of course, he's going to be able to swim better than the women. He is a he. This season, according to Sports Illustrated, has been unlike any other, right? Unlike any in history of women's swimming. You know why? Because you have a person born as a man identifying as a woman competing in the sport. Right? Crazy. I don't know what is happening right now. I don't know what's happening. There is a point where we can go a little bit too far over the edge. We can do that. We just need to reel it back a little bit. I think that there should be some type of test. We can't just take everybody at their word, you know? You know that famous phrase, trust but verify? Trust but verify. Oh my goodness. Diamond K told me privately he was voting for Trump 2024. No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I would not. Ever. Cool Rod on YouTube says that his endurance and muscle structure is a cheat code. Absolutely. Whole lot of cheating going on there. We talk about the Russians doping. This is like a this is like a form of doping almost. Right? It's natural. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like transgender women getting chicks pregnant. I don't like that. Nobody likes that. The father is in jail for killing his father. The mother's in jail for murder as well. What kind of life is this child going to have? Right? What kind of life is this child going to have? Damn shame. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, of course, on fire-tv.com. Let's do this. Let's look at this one more time. This one here. You're watching. We have a picture up of the gentleman who wants to be called a lady, but still acts like a guy. Here's the before-after pictures. Here's him, before. Now, here's the thing. Wasn't that long ago that he was walking around in full beard or trying to grow a beard, walking around like that. This wasn't way back in the day, right? Got a lady pregnant. Wait, got another lady pregnant. Probably had sex with more women. Maybe he, pulled out. Maybe they had their tubes tied. I don't know. But if he claims to be a woman, putting him in the male jail should be, if he liked being in the woman's jail, he got his rocks off in the woman's jail. Imagine how much fun you can have in the male jail. Right? That's what he should do. That's what he should do. I am not adopting these children. Because here's the thing. If it was one child, maybe I could think about it. It's more than one child. He got more than one woman pregnant. Yeah. He was running through them. Cool Rod says that we can't call them transgender women if they are getting women pregnant. You're right. That's what I'm saying. We need to test them. We need to test them. All right? We need to have somebody back up on them or something. If they get hard, then we call them a bluff. We call them their bluff. Oh, you want me to keep going on these people? You're going to have the LGBTQ folks, they're going to be mad. I want them to be mad because I want one of them to explain to me what's going on. DJ Cool Rod has a great point, which I have been trying to hammer. Let's not forget that this person is a killer, a convicted murderer, stabbed foster father to death. Thank you for your donation. When is the Hunter Biden show? Wait. What? Okay. What is the right's obsession with Hunter Biden? What is that? What is your obsession with Hunter Biden? I don't even think that Hunter Biden can tie his shoes. Like, why do y'all care about Hunter Biden? Especially when his father is doing a crappy enough job already on his own without y'all having to bring up Hunter Biden. Yeah, his father is doing a crap job. No need to worry about Hunter Biden. I don't even understand what the Hunter Biden's oh my God. Hunter Biden's laptop? Are you kidding me? What do you want from Hunter Biden's laptop? Hunter had grams of crack on the scale. Okay. So what? Who cares? Why do y'all care about Hunter Biden? You told me his laptop. We all know it's well documented that he has a substance abuse problem. But why is it such a big deal? Joe Biden is crashing and burning already. Right? He's crashing and burning. Why do y'all care about it? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Make it make sense. Listen, all right, that's cool. It says it wants me to go in. There's plenty of things that I can go in about, but Hunter Biden, I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe if this story makes sense to me, maybe if I could understand what the reason is. His father said anything bigger than a quarter is mandatory 5 years in jail. Okay. All right. So you're saying, what was he caught with some drugs? Was he arrested and given a slap on the wrist? Is that what we're saying? Joe Biden has, and he's on the list today anyway, but Joe Biden has been screwing up. Right? He wanted the job. He got the job. What kind of job is he doing? Not a good one at all. But he was given a tough job. I'm sure he would have loved to have the presidency in other years when things were a little bit easier to manage, right? Things are tough to manage right now. And I understand that. Things are tough to manage. It ain't easy. It ain't easy for him. All right? They're telling me to watch the tape. What tape? What tape? Hunter Biden is like a lot of rich, famous people's children. He's a screw up, right? He's definitely a screw up. Definitely a screw up. Diamond K is not voting for no Donald Trump. There are plenty of other Republicans who are a better pick than Trump. Trump is a flawed candidate. Trump's a flawed candidate and was a flawed candidate from the beginning. Now, Biden is flawed, majorly flawed, as is VP Harris, flawed. I don't think any of them should run. I think it should be somebody else on both sides. On both sides. So I don't want Democrats to think that VP Harris is the answer, because she ain't the answer. She definitely is not the answer. Another problem with Trump. Trump has so many problems. Staying out of jail is going to be a problem. Not for Trump, but for his supporters. See, Trump's not going to go to jail. It's going to be some of his minions. It's going to be some of those, and Trump ain't going to help him. If and when he announces that he's going to run for president, first of all, that's going to be the single worst thing for Republicans if he does it before the general election. Y'all are going to be walking around with Trump questions all around you. It's going to help the Democrats and hurt the Republicans, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with hurting the Republicans. I'm fine with it. I'm just saying, if Trump announces before the general election in November that he is running for president, it only solidifies that he doesn't give a damn about the Republican Party. That he does not give a damn. That he's only doing it to save his own butt. So one of those such minions, ex-Trump advisor Steve Bannon, I mean, this guy here, this guy here, former Trump advisor, his contempt of Congress trial will stretch into a second day after attorneys labored through a long Monday session trying to select a jury without preconceived opinions. Kind of hard to do that. He tried to select a group without preconceived thoughts about this. About what? So there's jury selection in this criminal trial of Steve Bannon, of course, prominent former presidential aide. He defied a subpoena from the Congressional Committee last year, talking about that attack, that insurrection. He thought he was big. He thought he was bad. 68 years old, now facing these 2 counts of contempt of Congress after he declined last year to provide testimony or documents to the House of Representatives Select Committee. You remember that. So he thought he was tough. He was believing the hype. Believing the hype. Who is the answer? They're asking me on YouTube. I assume that you're talking about who is the answer, who should be the candidates. You know what I would like to see? I'd like to see Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that instead of Trump and Biden again, instead of Trump and Kamala, or any of those combinations. DeSantis and Newsom, I think, is good. And if I'm pushed, I would come up with some others. But that I think is the thing. Trump and Biden are too old. Right? They're too old. I've said this many times before. Trump or Biden are too old to plan the family reunion. You wouldn't let them plan your family reunion, but we want them to be in charge of the country? And essentially, them being in charge means somebody else is in charge anyway, because they're too old to they don't even understand how to use the internet. Somebody else is doing that for them. They're too old. Y'all laugh about Biden falling on the bike like Trump can ride a bike. Trump can't ride a bike either. They're all too old. And they're not the only ones. There are plenty of Pelosi needs to go. There are plenty of others that need to go. There should be an age limit. There's an age limit on driving. There should be an age limit on governing. Over the hill is right. Over the hill. Over the hill. Man. So we're talking about this minion, Steve Bannon, unsuccessfully tried to persuade a judge to delay the trial. Thankfully, the judge saw through that, arguing that the committee's high-profile public hearings could make it harder to assemble an impartial jury. You should have went along with it and gave them what they wanted. Or you could have went and pled the fifth, right? You could have did a whole lot of things, but you didn't. You thought that you could just thumb your nose because you've seen Trump do it or others do it. Others from, Mark Meadows maybe. So he's trying to imitate. And look at Trump. Trump is ready to throw you under the bus. And we're going to need a big bus, but he can throw you under that bus nonetheless. So the committee presented evidence last week that Bannon spoke with Trump at least twice on the day before the insurrection. The committee also played a clip of Bannon saying on a right-wing talk show on January 5th, that all hell is going to break loose tomorrow. Bannon made those comments after his first call with Trump, according to the committee. A handful of people considered as potential jurors expressed negative sentiments toward Bannon and were excluded from the panel. The committee is going to hold another hearing on Thursday evening, 8 p.m. We will be streaming it live and talking about it immediately following. Bannon's trial will likely still be going on at that point. It actually could extend to next week. Trump told Bannon this month he was waiving his executive privilege claim. He has no executive privilege, whatever. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy when you think about it. Trump's supporters, as you remember, attacked the Capitol in a failed effort to block formal congressional certification of his 2020 election loss to slow Joe Biden. Bannon was separately charged in 2020 with defrauding donors. Oh, he did that. Defrauded y'all. And now he's back again, in trouble again. Can't seem to get enough. Every time you try to get out, he pull you back in. Cool Rod agrees with me. There should be a fitness test for upcoming presidents. Oh, yeah. Because like I said, Fox and the right often like to show this video of Biden falling on a bike. I venture to say that Trump cannot ride a bike. Have you ever seen him do anything athletic? No, you haven't. Because he can't, because he ain't. No, definitely. But, you know, he has his supporters. Biden has his supporters. Both of them need to go retire. Go to the place where, I don't know, somewhere, do something. Get out, you know what I mean? Go relax. Do something. A couple of other stories that I want to touch on. Of course, Maryland primary voting ends tomorrow. We are on the cusp of Maryland's first ever midsummer primary election day. Polls will reopen tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. We are going to be on at 8 p.m. for our election night coverage. Very excited about that. Now, unfortunately, due to the many different ways to vote this year, which include early voting and mail-in ballots, the vote counting process is going to be a little bit more complicated, and it's likely going to take longer than folks are used to. We're going to talk about the results that we have, assuming that there are some. There's also the question of election judges and, people who help, staff the polls on election day. Many jurisdictions in Maryland are short of the number that they need. For the 8-day period, which ended Thursday evening, the State Board of Elections reported that more than 172,000 people voted early. Just about 4.5% of the entire state's eligible voters. Oh, dismal numbers. Folks are not excited. Folks are not energized. Folks are not motivated. And why not? This is an important election. So we're going to just have a very small amount of people elect the governor of this state and many other important offices. Early voting ballots are being counted with results to be released after polls close Tuesday night. Oh, tomorrow night is going to be interesting. So we're going to have the Demi K show tomorrow, 6 to 7. And we're going to be back with election coverage at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. tomorrow, the His and Her show. And the His and Her show leading directly into our election coverage. We're going to have complete election coverage tomorrow night, beginning, as I said, at 8 p.m. Very, very important election. I'm going to vote tomorrow. My father and I are going out to vote tomorrow. Who am I voting for? In what race exactly? I have decided on this, a couple of things. I'm still up in the air about a few things. Maybe I might say tomorrow, but right now I still the governor's race. I'm still up in the air about that. That's like the top one. Yes, I'm still up in the air. So maybe I'll say it tomorrow. How about that? Of course, at the Demi K show. If you want to check me out on social media, business marketing at thedemikshow.com. And on YouTube, of course, the Demi K show, DJ Demi K. Subscribe to the page. On Saturdays, 6 p.m., I go into the mix with Baltimore club music. So this week is no different. Going to be in the mix as well. onfire-tv.com. You miss any episodes of our shows. I'm going to be back here. Actually, later on tonight for the No Filter podcast with Bree. And tomorrow, 6 p.m., the Demi K show. 7 p.m., the His and Her show. 8 p.m., our election coverage starts. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys on the No Filter podcast later on tonight.
On Fire TV is a streaming network for a generation on the move.